Viewers, welcome back to another episode of Breakfree the podcast where we talk about the business work, motivate businesses, lifestyle, motivation, and inspire people. Please, guys, we're also on Facebook and on YouTube, so please like and subscribe and follow. And yeah, today we have a wonderful guest here. She empowered minds of new bodies and also from nursing into mentoring, and now she also hope for some girls, but it's just not the superpowers. So give it up for Chloe Peterson from Atlantis. So Chloe, tell us more about yourself.
Good day, everyone. I'm Chloe Peterson. I'm the pageant director of Miss High Schools. And then in my professional capacity, I'm a nurse. Yeah, I'm a very passionate person for community. I love what I do. Yeah, what
That's
else?
so very short. I think it's so gonna do something.
I know there's a lot of patience, so there's a lot of things that they have to leave some for the imagination as well.
So tell the viewers about how you grow up in Atlantis and how it shaped you today.
Okay, I grew up with, first of all, my family were very acceptant as to who I am and what I stand for. So I can't really relate to a lot of gay people or queer people when it comes to the families. You get a lot of horror stories and stuff like that. So I can't really relate because I was very much, my family was very open to it and whatever. So yeah, when it comes to school, that was sometimes a challenge. But what I did use as a coping mechanism, I always made sure that I was part of either the school's RCL or the governing body, some kind of
Wow.
higher power within the school to protect me. Yeah, and that always worked for me. And then I entered high school and I did the same. And then it came to a point where they had to select leaderships. I was always selected for that. And then I got an opportunity actually to travel with like this with the metropolitan schools throughout every province in South Africa, and that was amazing. Uh, yeah, and then after that, I didn't know what to do after school. It took me actually a few years before I actually went to go study because I think I was 24 years old when I actually decided what I wanted to do. I was always passionate about modeling. That was something that I learned to do at a very young age. And I'm still not modeling anymore, but I'm still mentoring girls into shaping them into future leaders, if you can put it like that. And then I think it was 24, 25. Then my sister in law got this post on Facebook. And she told me, Chloe, don't you want to just go enroll into this? And it was a home-based nursing course that was given. And I was like, okay, let me just try it. I just tried it without any expectations. Because I knew that somewhere along the line, I needed to have something that was stable, and modeling is only going to take me so far when it comes to competing and things like that because we get older. And then I enrolled into this course and I instantly loved what I did. And then, thank God, when I was done with all my practical and theory and everything, I got the job immediately after that. And then I worked for this place for 10 years. And then I remember it like it was yesterday, like I was in the highest position that they could put me in at the time. And then I prayed to God and asked him, I feel that I'm stagnating. Something is not okay. I need guidance. I need to be out of here. I've got so much to give, but I've given it all basically for this place. So you need to expand me. I feel that. And then I got a message on my messenger. Hey Chloe, if you're interested in a permanent position, please make contact with me. And I was like, when I saw this message, I said it was 2 months ago already that this person sent it to me. And then I realized, okay, fine, I've got nothing to lose. Let me just give it a try.
Yeah.
And then I gave it a try, and it was actually the doctor that I didn't know that she was a doctor. I looked after her father. I gave him physiotherapy at home. Um, and then she saw the potential in me, and today a practice assistant, and I am as happy as can be. Like God opens doors for some reason. Like you don't just meet people by accident. It just they are placed on your path for a reason, and that is why because I could have she couldn't have given it that position to anyone because I took like 2 months to respond to her, but it was never for someone else to get it. It was always for me.
Yeah. Um, what made you decide? You said once you didn't actually know what to do,
Mm.
but okay, you said that just by post applying for a nurse. Like, how did the training at J&H Health Academy be? Like, and how was the training for you with it when you started the journey of into nursing?
Okay, the training was I would say it was very interesting because it's sometimes better to learn things practically than to
Mm.
what the theory side. And then what I've learned was in that space of me practicing and whatever, it was always with the medication part that I always had a little bit of an issue with. Not an issue with, it took me longer to figure everything out when it comes to medication, but all the other stuff I could do perfectly. And then there's one day the lecturer called me aside and she said, you're not gonna listen until you get this right. And I told her yes, but I need to get it right because what if I have to do it in the future and then I can't? And then she looked at me and she said, you know what, you're gonna actually be a greatness because you're not doing this just because you want to do it. You
Mm.
actually have a passion for it. And that was one of my challenges, adapting to
Mm.
certain things. But then if I'm there and I'm learning and then like it happens.
Can you just tell the viewers more because you say you started with something that people can explain to us what was it and what the right I don't know formulation or what
When it comes
method
to
is to.
but when it comes to medication, it's quite a specific thing. Like a prescription will give you like a specific prescription. Okay, fine, you need to be on this milligram for this kind of long period of time, whatever. But it has to be for like some script says it's for a month, some is for a week, or some tablets is just that where you take one tablet and then it's fine. But what I struggled with is to work the timing out of how long the medication
No.
should last. Like because some people have this misperception of when you take a tablet today, you take it 10 o'clock, saying tomorrow
Mm.
you feel like you're taking it 7 o'clock. It shouldn't be like that because it's a 24-hour cycle. And that
Okay.
say today you take it at 2, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Tomorrow you should take it at the same time because if you're going to take it an hour later, that means the medication skipped an hour for it to regulate in a 24-hour
So
cycle.
it's almost like a delay, basically. That is what
Yeah.
you mean. And
And even if you're on antibiotics,
mm,
some people tend to just take it for 3 days because then they take it that they feel better.
mm,
But then it shouldn't be like that. Because regardless of you feeling better, you need to take it you need to take it a week course because now your body is gonna build resistance for say when you want to use antibiotics again, then it doesn't work for you because your body built resistance to it and
mm,
now you need to go on something stronger. Like that
okay.
was always the challenging part of it, beginning with my practical and my theory and whatever. That was the part that I struggled with. But okay, I'm 13 years into nursing now. I think I'm quite
You
okay.
mastered the formulation. So is it like a formulation you work out or is it like in just
Yeah, it's a formulation that you work out. Obviously, I work with a gynecologist, so
mm,
she will come to me before the patients comes to me before they go to see her. So I will look at the symptoms and whatever, and I will do the blood pressures, do the whatever. Then I will write all that information and then they will go see her. She will make a diagnosis, and then she will come, okay, Chloe, yes, this crap and whatever the case may be, just check it, and then you email it to her, or you can just make it like a copy, then you email
mm,
it to her. So that was always the tricky part. And also, what was difficult for me transitioning from being a shift leader
mm,
in one clinic for more than 10 years, transitioning to this practice assistant job was very much different because now you're working with specific people. You're working
mm,
with women in like women alone, and you're working with mostly pregnant women. Whereas where I was working at the clinic, it was more like you're working with frail people. You're working with like different people on a daily. But now it just that was my I think the biggest challenge was knowing that you not only are okay, but you are there to assist in so many other ways. Because some people come in my office and then they come there with feeling very heavy and whatever. You need to be a psychiatrist, you need to be so many other things and make them feel worthy of themselves. And yeah, because obviously when you come to talk to you, not okay. So it's my job to make you feel okay, basically.
So, since you've been like working in the Yaki sector, in the experience that you, what experience that like can stand out for you while you're going like on your day-to-day basis?
Okay, what stands out for me is, like I said, I work with a lot of pregnant women, but every pregnant woman comes in the office with a different view of pregnancy. Like it's so profound that you are experiencing the same thing, but yet it's so different from the symptoms of it. Some pregnant women go through their whole 9 months without any morning sickness, without any swollen feet or nothing. And then you get this one or two that they are going through the most when it comes to the pregnancy in itself. So what I've learned is to like, regardless of something being the same, it can be different as well. It depends on the person.
If you can tell the viewers, how did working as a practice assistant with the gynecologist change the way you see the woman's health?
Oh, that is an interesting question. Um, do I see a woman in their health or like in general?
In general, the health since you've been working with the gynecologist.
I got to see that women is actually they're very powerful, but yet they're also very vulnerable when it comes to their health, especially when it comes to because gynecology already says it's working with private parts of a woman. So you get women that comes in there, they come either with a cyst or they come with they have cancer, then you need to treat it. Diagnosis needs to be made. They have so many. There's that angstig because now they went to this gynecologist, they're waiting for a result, whether it's a pap smear results or whether it's just a lab scope or anything of the sort. It's some kind of result that they're waiting for. And they're always very anxious when they leave the office because now they have to the waiting period of it. Even when it comes to being in a theater where a C-section is being performed, like it's so profound when you see this. When you see a woman, they know that the child is gonna come. They don't want to see the child first. They want to hear the cry first because I don't know how to explain it. I saw it once or twice where this woman came into my office. I was busy with the observations. Doctor did a scan and she saw something, and then we needed to rush her to the um, emergency. So we took her into theater, and the angstigheid op haar gesig, just wanting to hear that child cry, like not even wanting to see, just is everything okay? I think that is an amazing thing to witness, to actually see how woman is at their most vulnerable when it comes to things like that.
I was thinking, like, it's because of, I think, if you can put it in that form of meta, is that when she hears the child crying,
Then she knows everything is okay. Like, yeah, it's amazing. Ja, it's amper soos 'n verligting wat oor jou hele body kom, regardless if you can feel it or not, because obviously it gets injected certain things to obviously feel numb and whatever, but you are still awake during the surgery. So, is baie volle positiewe. So you want to hear that cry so that you know everything is okay. Like, it's really amazing what a woman's body in particular can do.
Um, you travel to the visit different, you travel to different provinces.
Yeah, all the provinces.
What was the most powerful thing you learned about people?
Tradition. Tradition was one of the things that always stood out for me. Like, it's amazing how you can be in a village and still, like, all the cultures is so interesting, but yet so different in their own right. When it comes to the different food they eat, like, for instance, like we went to this place to serve in pani worms, if I pronounce it correctly. And I was so like, oh, should I eat it or not? But then I told myself, listen, yeah, you're not going to come here again. So let's do this.
You did eat.
Yeah, and it's actually not that bad.
You eat it with sauce or just?
No, they fry it and then they give
Okay.
it like, and then what, the chicken feet as well. We tried that, like, we went to Gold Reef City also. That is also one of the highlights that, it was such a fun day. Like some of the rides that we went on, like, it's challenging because now you don't know if you're going to still be okay. But one thing that stood out for me is definitely culture and different belief systems, but also it roots down to the same thing where everyone um, everyone praises God, but in a
Yes.
different way. They serve God, but in a different way.
Um, what what drives your deep passion for the community work?
What drives my big passion for the community work? Um, I've got I think it's because I've got a sister that's wheelchair bound and mentally challenged and things like that. So it started there. We were caring for her, made me get this love of caring for other people. It started out with this program that I was on when I went to all the different provinces and things like that. So it started out as me trying to help one person, and then we had to have a fundraiser to actually help raise funds for the specific thing. And then we came up with hosting a Miss HSP. And that's where I met all these great people, and then I just wanted to do more and more and more and more, and that's how we ended up where we are today. Um, it's a few years ago where I took it upon myself, and I was not connected, or it's still connected to City of Cape Town, but it's mine now. So yeah, I think you're still gonna ask that. I'm jumping the gun actually, but yeah. So that is where my and then when you work with queens and things like that, you try to create a sense of responsibility to them and whatever the case might be, and we do it through like community projects, like we did Orion a few months ago. I think that challenged me as a person very much. It drained me mentally, and I'm saying that because it's true. We don't necessarily see all the struggles that people go through on a daily basis. But for me to obviously, before I'm sending in anyone else, I need to go and make sure that the place is safe for my girls to go. And I went there twice a week, twice in 1 week. Jerome actually asked me, "Did you go?" And I told him no. And then I went, and then I had to go again. And it was so seeing the circumstances that this people is in, and how how their parents can just, or everyone's circumstances is different. But I think God won't give you a cross that you can't be. And I think with the grown ups, it was still okay. But then I went to this specific house. It was like children between the ages of 2 years old and 7 years old, mentally challenged, they can't walk, nothing, wheelchair bound. And I asked myself a question: how do you, as a parent, like, are okay with leaving that child there? Because in today's technology, you get certain scans that you do. So if you knew that, you must probably knew already, like beforehand, that the child is going to be mentally challenged or whatever, because with the testing today, you can see these kind of things before it happens. Um, so, how did you come about leaving this child there? And I think that was also a real moment for me, walking into that house and seeing that specific, to me, never speak for me, it's just that. And when we had our briefing session with the queens as well, they were like so grateful for where they are, as to what they can do for themselves. And I'm not going to lie, it took them also a bit back, because it took them a while to actually adjust to the area that we're in, and the space that we're in, and the space that we're occupying, the people that is there. But when they got to it, it was actually, and we got really good feedback. They want us to come back again. But I was honest with them, and I told them, doing something like this is it takes a lot from a person. So we are definitely going to do it again, but we will most probably do it later in the year or early next year again, because we have a structured calendar that we work with as well. So I think that for if I have to sum this whole year up, I think that was the highlight of my year so far. Making a change in, because we only were going to work with 50 people, but then we ended up working with, I think it was over 100 of
Mm.
them. Um, that was just an also real moment for me where I could see that it didn't, like, coming there and the hugs, the amount of hugs that we got and kisses, and it was
They
just,
didn't lick you.
yeah, that too. Mm-mm. So it's things like that that makes me want to do more and to want to reach out more.
Mm.
It's things like that that keeps me sane, I would say.
So, as a present director for Miss or high school, what is the really trying to probe? What are you really trying to probe in the young girls?
Okay, the pageant will be 10 years this year. 10 years old this year. So what we really trying to achieve is building a sisterhood
Mm.
amongst young girls and shaping them into being future leaders, because we need to be a beacon of hope for them, because if you look at the communities today, it's a horror movie what you
Mm.
see out here. So being just a one light to one person would, you've made a difference if you like could make a change in
Mm.
one girl, and that's what we are trying to achieve. And we are we are getting there definitely, because the pageant is 10 years old this year. We've watched girls grow into this amazing people. Like our first queen is her own business owner now. She is flourishing and she's still part of the Miss
Mm.
Wire School brand. The second queen she did a third master's degree now in foreign in law. So some of them are chartered accountants, but we help build them in some
Mm.
kind of way, and they always want to like give back to the pageant when it comes to Miss White Schools. We can literally call them now. Listen here, we need your assistance with that, and the other. They will always be there, regardless.
So it is actually quite an amazing thing you're doing. So if you can tell the viewers, how do you balance your long serve in nursing and what uploading a page and organization as well?
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Sometimes you sit in meetings for 3 to 4 hours just because, like, the creativity just don't want to
Mm.
stop. But it really takes a lot of hard work and dedication and time management as
Mm.
well, to achieve what you want to achieve. I'm privileged now that I don't work that long hours anymore. I am based where I'm like I work 8 to 4 now, so it helps a lot, because then I do have time to
Mm.
actually pour into the pageant side as well. So I think God knew what He did when He gave me this new
You probably
opportunity.
prayed very hard.
Yeah, I did. And yeah, time management is everything when you do
Mm.
things like this. And you also have to have a passion for it, because otherwise it's not going to be based on the right things. And then also not going to achieve what you want to achieve because you are doing it for the wrong reasons,
Mm.
basically. And always pray for a sense of resentment, because it took me a while, but with my team, they helped me a lot when it comes to things like that, because I can't say no to people.
Mm.
And then they told me, listen, Nicola, that together we not only there as partners in them as well, because we're there to carry each other when the one person is weak and
Mm.
stuff like that. So it's nice to work with a team that has the same vision that you have and the same drive that you have.
Um, what what one major lesson that you learned in leadership from both healthcare and in the present?
You need to set an example.
Yeah.
Like you can't practice and preach certain things and then you don't practice it.
Mm.
You need to set an example. That is the most important thing. Like people always tell me like, why don't you go there? Why don't you do this? But it doesn't align with what we are busy with. So I
Mm.
won't just go anywhere just because of the sake of it. You need to first check if whatever you do is it aligning with what I believe, with my beliefs. First of all, is it aligning with what I want to do or what I want to achieve with the specific thing that I'm busy with, and then you would know what is right
Mm.
and what is wrong.
So if you can tell the viewers what is the biggest challenge you face becoming, coming, coming from Atlantis, and how did you overcome?
I think in the spaces I occupy in the lifestyle that I present myself as, I
Mm,
present as trans. So being trans, you have to basically prove yourself 10 times harder than the person, your normal
mm,
person. And I think that only made me stronger into where I am today. I'm very much aware of what I want in life, and I'm very much secure in myself. So it's not gonna, not anything is just gonna break me. I am very much, I'm secure in who I am and what I want. So I'm okay.
I was just thinking, while you're talking, and you say, what if there is a lady or a young girl who's less fortunate? What do you guys do to in this lady really wants to be part of your program? Did you have a case like that already?
Yes, we had quite a few cases like that. Before, what we first do is we pray about it, and then we speak to, as a
Mm,
committee, we speak as to how we can assist her. If we can't do it ourselves, which in, I think last year we had a case like that, where I personally wanted to sponsor this girl to actually enter
mm,
the pageant because I saw so much potential
mm,
in her. But then one of my team members told me, Chloe, but you can't because you are the director of the pageant.
mm,
What if this child win and then what is going to happen? So what we do in a situation like that, I approach other people that is by means to
mm,
actually sponsor this person, but we will assist as far as we can. But then when it comes to certain things, we can't. And then,
mm,
but also because we are blessed with a lot of sponsors, so we can reach out to certain people um, to assist in certain ways. So that's what we do. When we see potential in someone and they don't or not by means to actually afford, because a pageantry, let's face it, is quite expensive
mm.
because you need to look a certain way, you need to smell a certain way, you need to, it's a lot that goes into it. So if you if you're not by means of, we definitely assist, but we get people to assist you with it and not directly us because it can be a conflict of interest as well. And we
Since
don't
you
want it.
since you're talking about the finance, can you go but into this? Let's say you start the scenarios you start off and you're going into if you look at it as a first you're gonna do your first pageant. What how much you need to start off because like I know it's so especially for ladies, it's makeup, it's
Are you talking
hair.
about the event in itself or the person
Now
in
I'm talking
itself?
about the person itself.
Okay. If you want it done properly, it will most probably be around about 30K or things like that
What
because you need,
30K?
yeah, because you need to have a professional makeup artist. That is
Oh,
also going to be a few thousands. Someone is going to groom you, which is a stylist,
mm,
to make sure that you are perfect for
mm,
every like category. Like pageants normally give different categories as well, so you need to be groomed for that as well. Someone that's going to help you with your Q&A, how to present yourself, how to speak in public, because what we also saw. Yeah, okay, I'm going to answer your question. So it's around about 30K if you would say, like, if you have to put everything together, like the perfect dress, the perfect makeup,
mm.
the perfect hair, the perfect everything. That's going to be around about 30K. And I think people look at that woman who's on stage now and they think, oh my God, it's so effortless, but such a lot of work goes into all of that behind the scenes. It's
You know,
crazy.
I was thinking maybe I can just go to Pip and go buy me
No, it
something and
doesn't work like
just
that.
go do cut my hair to here by the Nazis
I
and
think
then
what
I
I think
go.
what helps now a lot is the fact that we have things like online shopping, like
Mm,
Shein. She's the girl that you think she is actually because we the quality is quite nice when it
mm,
comes to dresses. So that makes it a bit easier. But if you want something custom made for you, it's going to
mm.
be very much expensive.
So,
Even for guys as well, not only
yeah.
for girls. I think guys is actually more expensive than a girl because it's much more tailored and things
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, it's a huge amount to start off. But probably as you go, since you were also in the industry, also there's tricks and tricks that you learned over the years how to come by this stuff. Can you
Mm.
give a few examples of it?
First of all, be yourself, be your authentic self, and don't try to fake it. Because remember, as you're walking on a journey, you meet certain people who's
Mm,
gonna be there for a reason to assist you, whatever. But if you're gonna be a fake version of yourself, God is not going to be able to do that breakthrough because you're not being your authentic self. And that is most probably what I've learned over the years. Entering a pageant like Miss Go Western Cape was most probably one of my biggest fears. But yeah, it was most probably one of my biggest fears. Entering that pageant, walking on a stage in an auditorium was most probably, I never saw it for myself.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends at the time, Jason Steenberg, he saw the advert and whatever, and he enrolled me without me even knowing it. And he took me by the hand and told me, you can do this. And I went and I made it up to the top 10 in the Western Cape. And I was like, wow, look at God.
I want to know, you say that like on that level, man. How is this behind the scenes thing? How is the locker room, especially when you have probably do you guys pick one another?
No, it's actually quite a nice sisterhood that goes on behind the scenes. So one helps them with the tape and the other one helps them with the lash. And then someone says missing, then you give that one tape because obviously you are a woman impersonator because you want to must not look a certain way. So there's certain things that you need to do like padding, um, you need the original like proper tape to tape yourself. You need duct tape. Yes, that's what they used to make it flat. But I think if we've evolved so much in pageantry when it comes to especially like pageants like Miss Sovereign Western Cape, Cape Town Pride, that there's specific padding that you can use without even stacking. Because but if there's one thing about tucking height, it's the smell of everything when you need to take the tuck off. It's terrible. But the experience behind the scenes is always a rush. It's always, I don't know, it's just something that happens, and the day after, you're like, oh my God, it was actually fun.
But did you ever experience it where like I saw that with people they like a terrace and they just rubbed it off and put to something else?
Yeah, that happens because you need to, everything is about timing. So when you get off stage and you know your next thing, you need to be prepared. So there's not always, sometimes you have to just change the way we're standing, like, because it's the timing of everything needs to be perfect. And there's people standing behind to what? Just waiting for you to come so that they can put the dress on and go. It's a fast it's such a rush of things, but it's a good rush, I would say.
So, for young people watching who wants to also serve the community, and what practical advice would you give them?
If like young girls want to, or young people
and they want to also be
enter or being part of them so I suppose. But what I can say is I think the proof speaks for itself. Like girls come back every year regardless whether they win or not. They always come back because you know what we've learned? What hosting this pageant is like just we're not only doing it like a one night thing, it's a series of events that happens building up to the main event. So we have our annual brunch every year. We are just about the models and we get certain guest speakers in to motivate them a bit. And then we have our main show. But now this year, because we saw there's a lack in girls are very much well groomed on stage. Because I have to say, girls actually go out of their way for this pageant day. They want to look their best. But what we've noticed is that there's a lot of like they don't know how to present themselves on stage when it comes to speaking. Not that they don't know what to say, but they have this fear of I don't know saying something wrong. So Jerobium, you would be Jerobium and Janae. They would be they are going to be behind the scenes working, or we are working on a little something for them to help them like overcome the fear of public speaking and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening, but I have to say, you're gonna be you don't even want to win the crown. You are gonna be so in awe of everything that you gain knowledge. Like there's so many things that you're gonna gain at the pageant without even not being the final night yet. So and that's why they keep on coming back because they always take away something, regardless of them winning. Like we had such a profound moment last year on stage. Um, the now reigning queen. She burst when they called her name. She was in such shock. She burst into tears. Like I literally had to go to her and say, "It was your name that was called." But she was so in awe of because she felt that the title is too big for her. And then I told her, no, you deserve everything. Like you put in your best. Like so sometimes girls also has that where they don't feel confident enough. I think that's why we are doing all of these community reach outs and all of that to help them with their confidence and to help them boost their just being. And today she's secured in a reign and she's doing the most. She's really growing into this beautiful young girl that's gonna be one of our future maybe doctors or beauticians or whatever the case might be. So it's a beautiful thing to see that you've built something over the years and then you see it blossom into this beautiful flower like and that is literally what is busy happening now with the Miss High School pageant. So girls, if you snooze you lose. Some people they don't want to enter the pageant regardless of them being the best and we've got a lot of that feedback because they feel that the pageant is too our we are too strict when it comes to certain things. We are too structured and we are too organized. But I think die Here kan werk net waar daar structure is. You can't work in a democrat place. You have to have structure, you have to have respect, you have to have all that. They feel that the pageant is too, we expecting too much of them. But now, what we want to let other girls know out there is like beauty, winning a crown is not all of this. So much that you can do. Um, it doesn't stop that night when you are getting crowned as the Miss Wild Schools winner. And I think all 10 previous queens, or 9 previous queens in this case, can testify on that. It doesn't end that night. It's nurturing yourself, nurturing others, nurturing the fact that you are there because this is a very well respected pageant. And it took us quite a few years to build this name. And it's growing into this amazing thing. So if you're not going to enter, you're gonna lose out on the big stuff because this is accredited people that's gonna take you by the hand and lead you into beautiful things. Like yeah,
Okay. Um, how do you stay motivated and keep showing up when things get really tough?
you just have to remember why you started in the first place. It's not always easy. I think I was in a space of mind a week or two ago or a month ago to be exact that I wanted to step down as the head of Miss Wild Schools because I just felt the pressure is too much and it was getting to a point where, oh my God, I always need to look a certain way, I always need to be a certain way because people is looking at me a certain way. And that's why the team that you work with is very important. They brought me back to Chloe. It's okay. You don't have to just always this and that and the other. Sometimes you just need to take a breather and but stepping down was never the option. Um, yeah, being a leader is not easy. Like you get your down days and then you get your up days and you get days like this where people like you see what we do and want other people to see what we do. So you have to take it with the good and the bad.
What would you say to a young woman in a small community who feels like her dreams are not too big for what she want to be, or what she want to become?
Well, if you dream it, you can achieve it. That is what I would say to her. Because the world is your oyster. That's what you make of it. Life is all about choices. So if you're gonna want to be there, you are gonna have to make certain choices to make sure that you are there. Again.
If you would leave one message to South Africa's young women or people who are interested in the page, what would it be to keep them motivated?
Try and use every platform that you get to cement yourself as a woman, as a leader, because someone might notice you and then you will end up in the place that you really want to be. So use all your resources, do your best in whatever you do. You never know scouting. And then one day you will become where you want to be because of the right choices that you make.
Chloe, thank you for being on our show. And yeah, guys, Please do not forget to like and subscribe and follow, and we'll see you in the next episode.